Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are around this beautiful planet of ours. Today, let's look at how Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are going to perform in September. Now, this is following on from the series that we've been looking at, basically covering the month in advance on the channel. So make sure you subscribed, hit that bell notification icon, and of course, the like button so that you know that YouTube will send this content to you guys. So the video was from August 6th. 1 month ago. We'll review that in just a brief detail so that we can get an update of what is happening and whether we've been on track or not. We obviously want to see whether our forecasts and predictions are on track. So today we're using Gann analysis, Wyckoff analysis, simple time and price stuff on the macro picture. Now I've got a question for you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you enjoying the macro look at the market, especially Bitcoin, which is what we are known for here on the channel? And if you like, let me know your altcoins that you have picked for September, but most importantly, macro versus the micro stuff. Now, I'm also going to look at the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. You can see here, this is from February. So we put out a forecast for Bitcoin over this year. It was received reasonably well, but of course it was very bullish, still reasonably bullish at that time in the market. So for anyone to say that there was not going to be a new all-time high at that point wasn't the most likable thing. Let's just leave it at that. But obviously now we can see history has shown that the market has fallen a lot more from that point. Now, all these videos are on the channel, so I'll leave a link to them in the description this time and also at the end of the video, but of course you can subscribe and go and find these. So this is the update for September, and I'll continue with this particular analysis every month. And of course, we also look at shorter term timeframes on the weekly and the daily, but macro, monthly, let me know in the comments down below. Last thing here is the newsletter is coming out in the next 12 hours. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. Links are down below. It's free, looking at Bitcoin in more detail, and of course real estate as well, which is another big key proponent of our investment portfolios at the Investor Accelerator. Want to learn more? Links are in the top of the video description, all provided for free in terms of this newsletter right here. Almost 2 weeks ago, I asked you guys if there was a chance of Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high in 2022. Remember, this was at a time where Bitcoin prices were a little higher than what they are now. So it's just a matter of understanding that market sentiment. Now, 3 out of 4 of you, I think, are going to make it. At this stage in this bear market, much lower prices, I think we're all starting to get the picture that there's probably next to no chance of a new all-time high in 2022, but we want to invest when the prices are low. So this is obviously the best time to be in the markets, or at least following the market, tracking them, and preparing your plans and actioning the plans. 1 out of 4 have said a maybe or a definitely possibility. Now you're either trolling or we've got a little bit more work to do, and that's what I want to look at in today's video. Specifically, of course, the monthly chart for Bitcoin, updating from where we are and what is happening for September. We had 6 key points from August, which some of these points are going to flow through into September as well, because as this video was titled, Bitcoin is entering one of the worst months for crypto traders. Wasn't received as well. However, the title has stood the test of time, of course, in my opinion. The points were 21,700 will be hit. At the time, Bitcoin was trading at $23,000. We were looking at 20,700 as a final support type level. We've obviously broken through that, and we are now testing that range. We are trying to get above that. August will be choppy, difficult for trading. Of course, there is trading possibilities, but shorter term timeframes. So all of these things have come true so far from August. The May range is the upside test. So going to today's chart, we're looking for that May range that came out before that significant dump. That's still the test. We still need to get above those levels, plus our Wyckoff flip of 26,900. Worst period approaching. Of course, that was at the beginning of August, and I'm saying that this is for August, September. Still in that frame of things right now. And the last thing here was October will be far more important. That's what history has shown. Basically, we're just following the data from the charts. Price and time. Most importantly, the time aspect. From a new investor point of view, this can often sound quite bearish or fear, uncertainty, doubt. But the key areas that we can see here, even though the prices are down, are for the bull reason, there is a type of turning or stopping point. So the market has hit June and then bounced and is trying to turn. Now, the bear reason for this is that it lacks momentum. So meaning that we still could potentially visit some further downside past 17.5K. There's no confirmation yet because we need to see some upside targets broken. Is September going to be that month? Let's cross off a few things first up. There won't be any all-time highs in September. I think almost 100% of us can agree on that. No new all-time highs in September. August, that wasn't going to happen either, but there was still some hope and belief that we could get there by 2022 or end of 2022. I think we're out of that now. So let's move our vertical line here over to September, which we have done, and just revisit what the market has shown us in the past in terms of September. And in particular, we want to see what has happened from August into September to give us that reading about what the market might be feeling and then doing this month. This is all we have to go by in terms of forecasting the following month, which is based on the previous month. So far, things have been on track with our roadmap. September, the first year here, 2010, basically the open and close, there wasn't much in it. Even though we had a big spike up, it came all the way back down. 2011, it was a down month after August. In 2012, it was an up month of 20 odd percent, but this market was already in the start of a bull market. So we've got to understand though that in terms of the conditions. So to lay that out, the conditions right now are still a bear market. We have not had any sort of break from the bear downtrend. You can see we have a downtrend here and the market broke. You could even put it to the top of January. It was broken again. Put it to the top of August as the market began to roll around, and September was coming up to try and break that again. Finally broke out in December and January where the move on happened. So just as an idea of where we currently sit, it's a bear market, so we have to compare bears to bears, or at least accumulation periods. September, not much happened here. The market was trying to come back up in 2013. August had a good month up, but still there just was not any momentum in September. So we're starting to see a pattern that there isn't too much momentum for September. September 2014, August was down, September followed. September for 2015, again, not much momentum after the solid momentum in August, which put in a final low for the bear market. Looking to 2016, again, not much momentum after August was also a down month. 2017, raging bull market was on. August had a very, very solid month, and this was the only time where there was a new all-time high, but it was only all-time high by 4%. So that was already in a bull market, and even still, September ended up being a down month with a pretty solid wick to the downside. Now, the market was in a bear market 2018, not much momentum, even though the month was down. Again, 2019, market was down. We had some more move to the downside, but nothing really, really painful. And then to 2019, the market started to break out in August, September, down month. We're looking at September 2021. Market tried to break out in August, and we had that reversal. This was with the Evergrande news for September, and a good period of a reversal point for the move up, October, November for that high point. And that leads us to 2022. So for September, what do we think is happening from this point after seeing all of that data? Is it going to be a red month or a green month? More importantly, are we going to see any moves outside of a significant trading range? Dropping down to the weekly just for a moment. So we're trying to determine whether we're going to get any sort of significant moves out of the trading range for September. Now, it could be a green month. We've had a lot of red months in September, but for me and my style of investing and trading is I want to understand if I'm going to see a turn in the market or if we're going to see more of the same. Now, from years gone by, September hasn't necessarily been a great month for the break of a trend or to get any sort of momentum in the market. So we could remain within a trading range. We have a low of about 17. We have tops anywhere from the market breaking down at 29 down to the book Wyckoff flip price of 26.9, or even these previous tops at 25. So there's three levels above, three major levels, and then this creates the trading range. So although it could be a green month, for me, there doesn't seem in this data to be like there's going to be much sort of momentum for September to break out of a trading range. However, that could then lead us up and set us up for a good month in October. I can hear now the patience is just getting a little bit unbearable, but that is the game when it comes to investing. It's about understanding what's coming next, giving yourself a bit of a plan, looking at time and price, of course. And if you've got the patience and not so trigger happy, wanting to buy all the time like the DCA crypto investors on the way down, unfortunately, then you're going to make it. You will make it in the long run. because a lot of people are just way too trigger happy when the charts, the data on the charts is saying it's not time yet. And all we can go by is what the data is saying. It is basically the truth of the market. Let's look at the timing aspect also in terms of how much time may be left in this downside, this bear market range, or at least the accumulation range, which leads into our 4-year cycle analysis that was posted on February 22. So the timeframes here, just a couple of cycles to look at. End of Bitcoin bear market cycle. The first low, the average time was about 13 months. We had 14 months for the first period here. This was 2014 into 15. Then we had 12 months. So this is 12 bars or candles because we're on a monthly chart, top to the low, meaning the average is about 13. There's not much to work with here, but if we work in terms of this 4-year cycle, then at least that gives us an approximate time frame to look out for. And 13 months from the current high, which is November, leads us to about December of 2022. And that, of course, is still lining up with our 4-year cycle analysis and the analysis that we're looking at for September, meaning that we could be churning, maybe getting some move on for October until we finally see a low, whether it's a higher low or a lower low. We'll wait and see, but September needs to play out first, and we're getting a picture of what's happening right now. Now for the second low average of being 24 months, meaning we could see a move up in the market or more sideways accumulation before another significant low is put in. In this case, it was a higher low for 2015, and of course in 2020 it was also a higher low from the 2018 low. Time frame there is 24 months. The last time it happened was about 27 months from top to that second low, and previously it was 21 months, so top to that second low as well. So the average 24 months, that puts us out into November of 2023, quite some time, meaning this could look like a move to the side, maybe another move down to lower prices, possibly between 13 and 17K. It's not really the point right now. We're just looking for some timing here. Then potentially a nice pump up to get everyone excited, and could be a significant first leg or first higher swing low forming for that next bull market. And then we get that next low into somewhere around Q3 or Q4 of 2023, meaning there is a lot of time to DCA. That is a long way off, so we'll continue to update that on the following monthly updates for the macro view. Remember, these pump ups from whatever low price, whether it's 12 grand, it could pump all the way up to 36 grand, and that would give us a 200% trading range. This is a long, long way off, but that is still the possibility, especially from what we've seen on Bitcoin in the past. Another significant difference in terms of price to determine what we could potentially see for the rest of 2022 is the 200-week moving average. So I just like to look at this on a macro term time frame. Something different this cycle is that we've seen 2 months close underneath the 200-week moving average, with July just barely closing above, just by about a few $100, so not much in terms of percentages. But this hasn't happened in the past. It's basically been used as support throughout the 2015 bear and the 2018, 19, 2022 bear. But this time we've seen quite a few months close underneath it or very much on top of it. So that then leads the question, where could we go beneath that? Could we go to a 6-year moving average, being the 300 week? Now, these price targets could seem extremely out there, but let's just look at them for shits and giggles. The 300-week moving average is at 17,300 at the moment. So basically sitting on top of, or just under, the previous support level of 17,600 that was put in June. And then if we went to the 400-week moving average, just at about 13K. So the nice thing about these levels is that it lines up with previous areas of support and resistance. You can see at this level of 13, if we can line that up, then it comes out close to some of the candle closes back from the peak of 2017, and then also the tops in June 2019, so that other peak. And then of course the level just before the market broke out to that new all-time high in 2021. So there's a few key levels beneath the market. Are they going to reach there throughout this cycle? We'll wait and see. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but just looking at the 300-week moving average and the 200, because the market is closed underneath it, we have to at least start to look at that next price range being around that 17K. Of course, we've hit there before, which is why I've opened up the 400-week. And then, of course, that also lines up with some previous levels. So there's a bit of harmony coming together here for the price. The Harmony for the time is also looking pretty much on track from that first video we looked at in February, looking at the old 4-year cycle in terms of ebbs and flows, not necessarily the big peaks of booms and busts, but so far, we're down about 70% on Bitcoin. So one could argue that maybe we did get that reasonable bust after that big peak. Now let's summarize everything here, but just a quick reminder, the newsletter is coming out in the next 12 hours. It's once every 2 weeks, so it's not going to be spam to your email inbox, but this one is a cracker this week, looking at Bitcoin on a macro cycle, real estate, of course, and also getting into some DeFi stuff. Link is in the top of the video description, and of course our channel sponsors as well. Bybit is down there, up to $4,500 of sign-up bonuses, and plenty of other exchanges with thousands of dollars of bonuses. Check those out. Let's look at the summary here. In conclusion, I've got some hopium here as well. September is going to be indecision. These times are some of the most difficult because they can be choppy and churny, getting faked out, ups and downs, thinking that the market's going to take off without you, getting sucked into the FOMO, then dropping out in terms of the FUD. If we can avoid those and understand that there is a very big possibility of that coming up in September, then hopefully that can save us a lot of money and heartache and brain power so that when the good months do come, we are ready to go with that energy and reserves and of course those cash reserves. So my look at September is a lot of indecision, range bound for September based on the data in the charts. In terms of a macro look, this is part of the bear flipping to the bull. June is a significant low that is now confirmed, but I think there is still at least one more significant low to come based on the data that we've seen. But overall, an accumulation period does take time, and an accumulation period is, in essence, a bear flipping to a bull. Patience, this will take months. I still remain by that view that I've put out since early in 2022. Number 4, bear not over yet. So this is the flipping, but there could be some lower prices. That also works into point 1, indecision, of course, and of course point 2, gains. I don't see there being any explosive gains, generally speaking, and of course for Bitcoin, I can't see this thing going up to 40K or so. Happy to be wrong, and I'll probably take some profits if it did do that, because I dare say it would fade out again. But yeah, overall, from what I've seen in the past in the data, no explosive gains in September. The hopium, I think the worst is potentially over for Bitcoin. The bull is obviously coming. Again, that's sort of a similar point to 2 and potentially 4. But for me, that's the hopium. That's what I lived through in 2018, 2019, knowing that we were going to get another big bull market, just had to wait it out. And for the macro plan, I still think we are on track. Like I talked about earlier in 2022, many months ago, we're still very much working towards that 4-year cycle plan for another significant low to come in before we can start to take off to bigger and better prices. That's another wrap on the monthly update for Bitcoin. Save this, share it with a friend if you think they can get some value from it and hopefully save themselves a lot of heartache and energy expended out there in all of the noise that comes in cryptocurrency. Like if you found value, let me know in the comments down below if you're finding a lot of value from the macro look at the market. Comments down there, and of course any altcoins that you like the look of, I will get to those as well in a more macro sense. So let me know what you're looking at down there. Links in the video description. See you at the next video. Until then, have more fun to get more done, and peace out.